Hey friends, it's blowing pretty good. It's Friday night. I'm racing home. How's everybody doing? It's Friday night in the shop. I wish work would know that we got YouTube business to do, but that's how she goes. Just let me spin around here. It's blowing snow, 40, 50 mile an hour wind. Look at all that good junk in the Tin Man's shop. That's what we call a shed here. A shed's 40 by 30. We like everything bigger in these parts. Just backing up to the shop here, guys. And let's do this. Okay, I'll meet you guys in there. What are we doing today? Well, this is something, I don't think I've ever seen this on YouTube, and it's something I deal with a lot. Constantly, especially if you work on old power saws, guys. Every saw that I take apart that's old has the same problem. And what is that problem? Rotten gaskets, guys. Okay? These little things here. They will be the absolute death of me. Okay? I've made the mistake. Your 266s, 281s, 272s, Mccullochs, home lights, they have gaskets in places. They don't have rubber intakes, they have gaskets. And here's the problem with that, they leak. You take the saw apart, it runs fine, you put it back together, and now it doesn't idle, it won't tune well, it doesn't go down to idle after a cut, and you go, what's going on here? 9 times out of 10, guys, you have a delaminated, rotten gasket, okay? Now what do you do if you can't get gaskets? In this case, it's a Mac gasket. I need to make gaskets for the oil tank and various other places on this Mac. And I think they're available on eBay, but I'm a Canadian fella. It takes 463 days to get parts up here sometimes. So, especially right now, it's around Christmas. So what do you do if you don't have a gasket and you need a gasket? Okay? That's what this episode of Tin Man Saws is. Well, guys, I buy this stuff. It's Velcro. Okay, it comes in various thicknesses. Okay, about $10 in Canada for this roll, 10, 12 bucks. This is 1/32 gasket. Okay, you can make base gaskets out of this, anything you want, and it holds up. Okay, this is basically what they print gaskets out of. Okay, the idea is if you can trace it and cut it out, you can make gaskets. So let's do that today. I need to re-gasket this whole Mac. This is the Super Pro 70. I've been working on it. This is a personal project, something I've really wanted to do. I want to port Macs, guys, and the only way for me to port one is to get one and hack it up, basically, and to get in there and have an idea of what I can and can't do with one. So a little here and there, and I've filmed some of it, and I'll show you guys some of it. I've been doing prototype work on this Mac. It's got really loose squish, it's got lazy intake timing. There's a lot of little issues with this saw. The main issue with it right now, I'm about ready to run this saw. I've got it all ported, and everything's good on it, and I'm pretty happy. But it's like, I need a gasket here. This one's no good. The front gasket for the oil tank is completely just disintegrated. And so I need a bunch of gaskets. I also need one for right here. There's a gasket here between the carb and the fuel tank. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 gaskets. Okay. Now, if I didn't have those gaskets, I'd be dead in the water. I gotta go on eBay or Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair, a place like that, right? Saw again. You guys know the places. You guys ask me, where do you get your parts? The same places you guys do. I don't have a secret stash. I beg, borrow, and steal whatever I can get. Maybe not steal, but you guys know what I'm saying. A lot of parts I make. AV mounts, gaskets, all that stuff. So we also have to make AV mounts for this saw. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make gaskets on film and show you guys how I do it. Okay, I'm just going to get you guys set up here. So we need a gasket for this surface here. Okay, we take our paper. I like to be liberal with it. I'll just mark it with my hand. Okay, I'm going to take the good old-fashioned Mcculloch tin snips. Best tin snips made. Okay. I'm going to cut a pretty good sized piece because I want extra. Okay, there we go. So I have this piece ready to go. I'm going to back you guys up here a little bit. There you go. Okay. So I have this piece of gasket material. Now what do I do? Okay. Well, I can lay it on here and trace it, but it's like we got all this to deal with. There's all these little nubs in here. And as you guys can see, this gasket is just disintegrated. Now, best case scenario, when you're pulling the saw apart, your gaskets remain in one piece. But in this case, this thing's, I think they made these mid-70s. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. These are dirty right now, right? I'll take a little dirt off the bench and I'll wipe it on here. Okay. This is an old school sheet metal worker trick, actually. They call it the dirty finger trick. Okay. Now, if you guys look, you got here. Get this thing to focus. Okay. Look, right there. There's a hole there. There's a hole there, and there's a hole there. Okay, that'll get us started. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need a set of hollow punches. Okay, I'm going to pull mine all apart. They're in this silly holder. Now, these things have a little taper. Sorry guys, these things have a little taper, and there's a hole in them, and the piece will just knock through. Okay, so what you want to do is find the punch that corresponds with the hole. Okay. Now, I have a feeling, yeah, this one's going to be too small. So we will grab the next size up, which is this one. That one's too small. Okay, so you guys want to grab the right size punch so that it'll fit. That one's real close. But this is a one-shot deal, guys. You can't do it twice, really. I'm just going to pause you. I'm going to find the right punch here. Okay, guys, I picked this punch. Okay, and look, it slides over these tabs quite nicely. Okay. And now, this side, we can punch the corners of this. Now, this punch is a little bit big for that one. Okay, but here's what I do. Put it down flat on your bench. Grab your punch, which we were saying was this one. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to do this so you guys can see. Now line up the end of your punch the best that you can, okay? There's one. Two. Okay. Now look, with any luck, if we got this right, look, it sits flat on your oil tank cover. Now look, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to rub that, and you'll be surprised at the transfer. Okay. Now you can see it a little bit better here. See your marks? Now, sorry I bumped you guys there. If you do not have a punch it's the right size, you can make one out of a tube and then you know, put it on a grinder and grind the corners. Use your ingenuity, guys. Like I always say, you're not always going to have the exact tools you need. It doesn't mean you can't do a proper job. You just might have to think about it. Okay, I'm going to punch each corner of this with a smaller punch. That one didn't poke through all the way. Okay. The key is, guys, you don't want to rip this. Okay, next corner. Now you can take a razor blade, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, and I'm going to cut these two slots out. Now here's the key, guys. If I get this just right, I'm not going to use this one. This one's kind of dirty, right? But here's the key, guys. If I get this right, okay, I'm going to use this knife because this seems to be a better deal. If I get this right, I will put this in a baggie, and this is my Mcculloch. This is my Mcculloch oil tank template, okay? Now, put it through in our holes here. Oh, helps if you have it the right way. Okay. Now, it fits a little bit tight here, so I got to cut this one out maybe just a little bit more. Take my knife, and I'm going to cut the inside edge of it. Okay. Okay, now that's pretty good. I'm having a little bit of trouble with this one. Now you don't want to force it because you will rip this stuff. I need to cut the edge of it just a little bit deeper. Okay, right here. That should be a little bit better. Okay, push this down. There we go. Okay, so now we have that. Again, rub it, okay? Rubbing gives you, it'll give you an impression of the part, because usually the part is dirty, right? Okay, now take it off and see what you get. And you will have, see that, guys? There's my gasket. Take your knife. Now, if you're having a hard time rubbing it, what you can actually do is take a marker, put thick marker on the edge of this, and then seat it down. And again, you will have an impression. Now, I don't want this to be too small. You can always cut it off after, right? I don't care if it sticks out a little bit from the oil tank. So make it a little bit oversized and break your knife right there. So we'll go back to this. Cut our excess away. Because again, I can hand fit this. Once I get this perfect, it's now a template. And I can use this to trace further future gaskets, right? Save myself a bunch of time. Or I can make 5 or 6 of them and put them in my stock, which is probably what I'm going to do because I got the Mac fever. Okay, put this there. Now we can line this back up. Let's see how close are we. All right, you want it slightly oversized. And again, this is just how I do it. If you want to order gaskets, when you work on as many saws as I do, waiting for parts is terrible. I hate it. Okay, there we go. So we got this corner pretty good. So now what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to put this flat on my bench. I'm going to use the cover as a template, and I'm going to cut the excess off. Okay. Put this along the edge, just run it down. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to seal, right? I mean, the better it looks, the better, right? Like, if you're working on a nice saw and you make a gasket for somebody, you don't want it to look like it came out of a garbage can, but you want it to seal, right? Okay, so now we have a home light gasket. We got to punch a hole in the middle of it. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to take a pick or a scribe or something that can get down into there. Okay, I was going to say if that fit, and I'm going to mark it. Okay, just put something down in there, and mark where it goes. And now you can punch a hole here. Now, the inside of this is very, very thin. I'm going to rub it good because the inside, I'm going to want to trace that in one go and make my gasket perfect. Okay, we'll take this gasket back off. See, and it fits nice and snug. We got it on the first go, guys, on film, which is crazy. So usually when you film something, it takes 10 times longer and it doesn't end up turning out as well. It's funny how that goes. Okay, I'm going to flip this around this way. And it definitely fits both ways, so that means we got it symmetrical. Okay, let's rub this a little bit more. Really push down on those edges, and it should emboss onto the gasket surface. Okay. Again, guys, old school. I do a lot of old school things. I don't know any better. I tend to do things the way I do them. Okay, now I believe the sealing edge is only in the middle here. Okay, now I got a good edge here, and probably what I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm going to punch myself a corner here. Punch myself. That's funny. Okay, that way I don't have to try and make a radius. Another corner. And here. Another one. All I'm doing is the tight spots where I feel like I might blow through, just punch a little radius there. And that'll save me a little bit of work, and I won't ruin the template. Okay. Take my razor blade, because we broke our knife. Again, the magic of film right here. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go straight. Now see, I didn't have a corner here, guys. Hopefully you guys can see what's going on here. I didn't have a corner here. I didn't punch it yet. So I'm going to take this punch and I'm going to go like this. Okay. That'll give me my corner right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way around to this corner. Again, I'm going to bridge these two right there. This way. Oh, and I didn't put one here. So let's put one there. Okay, right to this corner. I'm going to go like this and around. Over to that corner, do this radius here, and bingo bango. There you guys go. We have a functional Mcculloch oil tank gasket. Okay, let's fit it on the part. And again, now that we can see what we're doing, we can go in there with that same razor blade and we can trim this up so it's perfect. Okay. Yeah, this takes a little bit of time, but it's faster than ordering one, and it will seal. Okay? And I was thinking it went across, but it doesn't. And I guess realistically, this whole front could be a gasket, and you could just poke a hole in there, but there you guys go. One Mcculloch oil tank gasket in 18 minutes. That's how long it took. And yeah, you could order one, or I don't know what a gasket would cost for a Mac, but I mean, this is simpler to me. It's more cost effective. You get to build something and take pride in it, and it's just a good deal. So, move you guys back here. So there you guys go. Old power saws, you need gaskets. You know, now this will seal, and it should seal up good and tight, and be of no trouble. Okay, that just goes right down on there. Sorry, this way. I always have this thing upside down. Okay, there we go. It fits perfect. It doesn't hang out the edges, and it'll seal it up. So that's one gasket out of 4 that we need to make, and that's how long it took. And the other ones are smaller. Tillotsons typically have this type of gasket on the carburetor. Make sure you guys can see that. Okay, this is an old one I have. I lined it up. It fits on this one perfectly. I believe the home light or a home light gasket would work. This one's slightly different. I'm gonna have to cut a little piece in there and rub it. Okay, you can see that gasket absolutely grenaded when I pulled this saw apart. Put the light on for you guys here. Okay, you see there's only half left. If I don't fix this, that's gonna leak real bad. The other side is the bottom of the intake. Okay, so I got to make a new gasket for this. That'll stop any of those bad carb air leaks you get. They are terrible. Those carb air leaks are the worst to deal with, guys. Super frustrating. You think you got it, and then boom, the saw won't idle, or it even. Sometimes carb air leaks, you turn the saw on its side, you think you have a crank seal leak, you put crank seals in the saw, and 15 minutes later, you're running it, and boom, it does the same thing, because it's actually leaking from the carb. Okay, guys, that's what I had planned for today. Hope you learned something, just what I'm doing today. And like I said, when I'm working on something, and I feel like I need to share it with you, which is getting to be darn near everything I do on this bench, I'm going to turn the camera on, and as long as you guys keep watching, I'm going to keep making these videos. The feedback, I love it, guys, when you're like, hey, I learned something from that. That's what this is about. It makes me feel good to be able to, you know, the useless knowledge that's in this brain, being able to share it with you guys. Help you guys save money and help you guys have running power saws or whatever else we do here. We're probably going to wrench on more stuff in the future, guys. I don't just wrench on power saws. But for right now, we got Macitis, so we got to keep dealing with this thing. I want to run this thing soon. Anyhow, as always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. See you guys later, and make your own gaskets. It's fun and easy.